Welcome to Dad Fixed It. So on my wife's 2017 Mazda CX5, the whole piston fell out. And I was pretty shocked at that. There was a floating clip right here that was had fallen out, and I'm not really sure exactly where it goes, but my best guess is if you look inside here, before you hit the screwed parts, there's a little slot on each side. I'm pretty sure that that end piece goes in one of those slots and it helps it turn. So the big thing that you have to do is get this in here, seat it flat, and slowly crank on the back portion clockwise to seat it, and then start pull it back in. Don't do it too much, because then we're going to have to slide this over the that part of the drive, and then I've got to seat the gasket too. So I'll work on that next. So we'll see how this goes. I already seated that inner portion inside the drive. I turned this and it started to crank down, which is good. Fitted the metal part of the piston on top of it, and now I'm going to try to get this gasket inside. Most of the guys that I watched online said to start it from the bottom, and then when you crank it, this will seat itself. And that made the most sense. You have to use a screwdriver to get that in there too. And then you have to apply pressure as you crank this clockwise. Let's try that. Okay, that worked out great. What I did was, this piston was way out, and you could kind of wiggle it and push the boot in to have it pop in from the bottom. This was not sitting on this collar at the time, it was further back. And I would just rotate the piston, shove it in, rotate it, shove it in. That way it was less chance of it cutting with that screwdriver. But anyways, I got it seated all the way in. And then what I'm doing now is I'm cranking on this clockwise. And as it goes in, I push this, and it's resetting the way it should be, just like if you had clamped it originally. So I think I'm pretty good to go. I'm going to crank it all the way down, put the motor back on. I will probably lube this O-ring and then fill it up and try to burp it and hope that I could put it in a parking mode and get back on the way, but we'll see. Okay, we're getting close. Caliper's on, bled it until all the air was out. It didn't take a lot of fluid like somebody had said that I read up. It only took, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the reservoir to fill up that piston, which makes sense because there's not a lot of room in that piston for fluid to go into. But anyways, I busted this too. So I freaked out because I saw two metal probes coming out of there, and I thought I jacked it up. Those probes are actually from this side of the motor, not from the plug-in side. So I just used plastic welder to keep that on. This basically just holds it on and keeps it waterproof. And I'm going to put it in parking mode and then out of parking mode and see if I got it. Okay, here's something you should know. If you did not put it in maintenance mode and you're worrying about backing off these rotors because the pads won't fit because they're going to be compressed down, you can remove this whole caliper. There's only 2 bolts that hold it, just like the front. This little bolt right here, if you turn it clockwise, it will slowly back the piston down. The problem is the top of the piston won't move much, so you're going to have to use a clamp of some sort to push it in. So again, you're going to turn this clockwise, I don't know, maybe about 5 or 6 turns, Then slowly crank down on this to push that piston in there back. And you keep doing that over and over until it slides almost all the way back, where it's going to fit your new pads. And then from there, and it's really easy. The pads go right back on. You do not want to do that with this motor on, because those gears, from what I could tell, the gears on the inside are plastic.